Hey, can you hear me by the way? Hi guys, it's Johnny. Today I'll be just discussing all the leaders and cards in game and going from one by one. So to do that, we can go to the deck builder, and make an introduction to like all the cards in game. So follow me along, and you can watch the video later. I will save on my YouTube channel, and you can watch it later as much as you want. So let's go from card to card. So renew over here, this card you can renew any card from your thing. According to mine, you can play it in any faction. It's a neutral card, so we can go by neutral to neutral. So you can go neutral, neutral, right? Neutral cards are cards that you can play in any faction. Northern, like this card game Gwent has 6 factions currently in game, which is monsters, then Nilfgaard, Northern Realms, Squirtle, Skellige, and Syndicate. Each of the factions plays differently and have some unique identity to them. So you can make decks totally with all the neutral cards or totally monstral. It's up to you how you make the deck. All right. So we can start from neutral since they can be played in any deck. And this game has a system of provision. So if you check any leader cards, there used to be leader cards, now it's only ability. Okay, if you check over here, right? Okay, if you want to go back, if you build a new deck, if you want to build a new deck, you have monsters. Each of the cards has like you can have 150 by default, but each ability in a faction adds like 16 or like more, depending on which ability of that faction you choose. For example, oh, I am from Canada. Where are you from? And see, so over here you see like different ability as plus provision in the for example blood scent plus apps 15, so you can have provision of 165, and similar to like that for all the other factions. Okay, so that's there to it for the provisions and how many cards you can add to your deck. And so this card over here, my thoughts about this card is renew is pretty much very expensive. Nobody really plays renew. I think this provision should be reduced. And spear tip is a monster, so we're not going over monster. Okay, and caretaker, right? Caretaker is also very expensive. I don't think it's worth playing him. It's only gives you 2 points for 14 provision, and it only plays an artifact from game, so it's not really good. So there are also like 3 types of cards that in the game. If you see over here, card type, it's a unit, which is a like a soldier or a unit that you play on the board. And it's pretty costly. And each card has a ability like which is deploy. Deploy is something like uh, deploy something like that is battle cry, like in Hearthstone or similar to other cards. It does immediately the thing it's supposed to do. Okay, so this is called card goes deploy. And for most of the part you'll find the ability explaining the card text over here. For example, over here is deploy triggered this ability when played. And we also have other kind of units, which is special. Special is like it doesn't create any, its effect are immediate. For example, Scorch, destroy all the high units. Or specials also have something called spawn. For example, if you play spawn, right, so shoop, you can spawn something. Or another faction, if you change all, you can do like this, like spawn to drive fledglings. It's a squirtle card. You can then there's some other cards, like there's spawn cards. There are not many spawn cards special in game. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, like 13 spawn cards. And if you have any questions right now regarding that, I can answer if you want to ask. And the other card type you have is artifacts. Artifacts are cards that does something when you play them. There are not many artifact cards. They're not really, like, it's been a while they made any cool artifact cards. Most of the artifact cards are really not much useful. In the past patch, this card used to get played a lot. They nerfed it. Whatever they see that in this card game, I have in my experience, whatever they see that it's getting played a lot in every kind of deck, they just nerf it outright. I don't understand why they do that, but it is what it is. So those are the artifact cards. So to recap, there is like 3 kind of cards. One is unit, specials, and artifacts. And there is like and if you want to know what the leader ability does, for example, in Carpus, right, Carpus is defensive ability. It used to be a leader called Eredin. Now it's the leader ability is all changed to just abilities, and you can use any skins. Carpus, it does like it adds 16 more provision to your deck, and it has 2 charges only, which is not really that good. And it gives you a shield. I mean, shield is not really good because Tourney just exists in Nilfgaard. I will show you that card later on. But you just units by 3, and it just gives you shield and only 2 charges. So you're getting like what? You're getting like only 6 points from your leader, which is not at all good. Doesn't synergize anything in monsters with the shield tag. Then there is Force of Nature. It synergizes with big monsters. Monsters are known for playing big units, so you can only use it once. And Gwent has like 3 round play instead of most of the card games have like 1 round, and you just finish your deck. It has 3 rounds. So you kind of want to decide whoever wins in round of 3, he wins the game. And this thing is only ability by 8. Used to get played a lot. You don't see much him anymore, this ability. Then Death Shadow is like a other Death Wish. It's really strong. I think it's pretty good because you get to do in every round one time, and this is one of the only ability that's in the game that it refreshes on round start. There's no other leader ability that gets refreshed on round start, so it's really strong. Death Wish is currently in the meta and people are really playing it. Then there's Archer's Swarm. This ability is really good. You have 5 charges. You create a 1-point body on the row, and you get the Insectoid on the board, which is synergized with Insectoid Dead, which I can show you later on. And Fruitsoft, this is really good, but she has been nerfed. It used to be like 13 provision or more, I believe, but it's 11 right now due to the provision lacking limit. This card leader ability or the ability doesn't get played that much, so it spawns. You can use it as much as you want, as long as you don't have this Garniture fruit on your board. You can spawn it and use it again and again. Then there is Blood Scent. There is in Gwent there is things like called status. For example, this card over here has a Doom status. There's like quite a bit of status in game. I think one is Poison, Resilience, then Doomed, then like they have Shield, and then they have what else they have? They have Vitality, then Bleeding, those two. I think they have one more maybe. I'm not sure, we'll check. So those are the monster abilities. And Northern Realms have Inspired Zeal. Inspired Zeal is right now is really bad. You don't get much to do with it. You get only 3 charges too. It's like not good. I think even Royal Inspiration is better than Inspired Zeal. Royal Inspiration is like boost an allied unit by 1. It every 2 turn you can do it once. You can do it one. Next turn you can't do it. Then the next turn you can do it again. So it's a pretty long round ability where you want to play for long rounds. Oh yeah, one thing I would like to say in Northern Realms, they just want to play this faction. They just want to play long rounds. They're really bad again in short rounds. They're really bad. I mean, there's not many cards that makes you win the game in a short round. There's nothing much. I mean, we'll discuss when you go through each faction's cards. We'll see that. Then Vicious Lass is just a really bad card. I think this ability needs a rework. It used to synergize with old Hubert. Like Hubert was a card like if you damage an enemy X number of times by in this particular round in this turn, then you would get boosted by that amount. Now it doesn't synergize with anything. You will never see this leader. Like once in a blue moon you will see this ability getting played. It's not in the meta at all. Then there is a Stockpile. It's same thing like Meave. I'm still getting used to the card ability names. I'm used to calling by leader abilities. I think the decision of changing the leader abilities and the flavor to it lost a lot of flavor. Just instead you can just use a skin right now and just use any leader ability, and they changed the name of the abilities to Inspired Zeal and etc etc. It's kind of loses a lot of flavor. So basically what Stockpile does, Northern Realms has like 3 things. One is orders, another one is taking charges, another is boost. Beside that, it just either is like damage boost, or like they just ping and they get charged and you just ping. Either is damage ping or is boost ping. That's all to it. I find Northern Realms very boring. It used to be really nice, one of my favorites. I still want to be called as my favorites, but they are so boring. You just don't find much interesting plays with this faction. And this is in the meta, So pincer ability is one of the best Northern Realm has. Play Northern Realms faction from your card and draw any card. So you can, if you're missing any kind of card, it's just like and the tactic that play and lets you ability to play any card from your deck which you need. So it's pretty strong, but you can use it only once. Now let's move on to Squirtle. Squirtle has few things. One is guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla tactics is pretty good, I would say. It has only 3 charges. You move a unit to the other row. If it's an enemy, and you damage it by 2. If it's an ally, boost it by 2. Very simple. And invigorate is like, it's one of the least. I think it's really ability doesn't encourages to play all unit kind of deck, so it only used only once. It gives you 10 points of value. So if you have all 10 cards in your deck, which is all units, then you get 10 points. It's pretty simple, and it's only can be used only once. Precision strike, with all the armor added in the game, precision strike is not really good. I don't think it's that much gets much value, and it can only use it for 4 times. When they released this game in Homecoming, it used to be like 3 charges every round, but it was too strong at that point of the game state. Now it's not that strong, so it doesn't get seen play much. Then there is Mystic Echo. This is the one of the deck is in meta, playing dwarves a lot, which I will show you what's the dwarf deck. So over here, it has 13 provision to your deck provisions limit, and get 13 more provisions. It's pretty strong. And the trap thing is like not really explored much. There's not much good traps. Even he got changed and increased provision. I don't think he is that strong. And second most favorite in Squirtle is Call of Harmony. That's really good because you can add like different types of Squirtle faction cards, and you get like, it's like a tutor. You can use any cards. The more different card type you add, the more tutor you have of using from your deck. Now we can move to Skellig next. Onslaught is it's a joke right now. It used to be really good because so many shield and armor in game right now, it doesn't get value. Berserk is just a joke. Then another one is Reckless Fury. This one is also same, suffers from the same thing. If you do damage, then it's only once, so it's not really that good. Sacrificial Vanguard is just a rubbish. This this ability is just rubbish. You'll never see this guy getting played. He needs a complete rework, just like Northern Realm Vicious Slash needs a rework. This guy really needs a rework for he's just very bad. Second Wind is one of the best ability in Squirtle in Skellige right now, because it allows you to play any card from your graveyard. So you can completely play all your very strong card in round 1 and still resurrect this, and when you resurrect this, it does the deploy effect. So you can play a lot of good cards and still use them again in your later round. It's really nice. And Patricial Fiery is like the second most played leader ability right now, because it gives you good synergies with like Berserk, or like boosting cards that when gets damaged for your opponent. I will show you what I mean. And third most used, or the second I would say in Skellige, is like offensive ability called Ursen Ritual. So basically you want to play in a deck where it does something when you get damaged on your own unit, and it has 5 charge. It's pretty strong, I think. Nilfgaard, it's pretty strong. It's just like, it's a very annoying faction to play against. In meta, this thing is like, it's a trigger for a lot of people. According to developers' opinion or something, I think they should change this card or nerf him a little bit, or like say it cannot cannot like steal a card more than 4 or something, because a lot of players perspective, this ability in the game single alone triggers off so many players, and they just don't want to play Gwent. They just don't want to play it because it's very unfun, it's not healthy. I don't think it's any good thing for the game. It just triggers a lot of players. I know quite a bit of players who just don't play Gwent just because this ability exists, because they want to have fun, and this very unfun kind of leader ability, or like the ability in Nilfgaard that exists. So yeah, and it earns 16 provision. Yeah, it's very annoying to play this. I will show you what I mean in a deck I have. Double cross is nice. It's just like Enslave, but instead you create a card from your hand. So like I say, you want to play all your good cards at the start instead of storing for later. The better cards you'll store in your hand. With this ability, the worse the thing gets. It's pretty nice. And Lockdown is another unfun. Basically, Nilfgaard is a faction which is an anti-fun kind of faction. You wanna have fun in Gwent? The players who like not they get enjoyment from like seeing other people like not having fun, is the deck is the faction for them. They just wanna like steal your units, then steal your cards, then lock your cards, kill your cards. I mean, just is very much control centric. So you just don't wanna, you can't do anything with them. And Lockdown is an ability that just locks your leader ability, like your faction ability or any ability that you have. You just locks that ability and you cannot do anything. It's just that's it. And it has the least amount of provision addition for this because it's totally unfun. So you can only add 10 more provision to your deck. And Tactical Decisions is a ability, so you can see like top 3 cards from your deck and you can play one of them, which is pretty cool. Imperial Formation is really nice. It's not that unfun to play against. So yeah, it's pretty good. It's not that unfriendly. It's pretty one of the friendly ability he have, I think, in Nilfgaard. Another one is Strategic Withdrawal, and he's the least I think second least played leader ability that is in the Nilfgaard. So that's Nilfgaard for you. And currently my favorite faction is Syndicate, because Syndicate in the game has complete package. They made this faction the last and they made it best. I mean, they worked really good on it. No complaints about Syndicate, but they have all the really good stuff. Blood Money is a good ability. Damage an unit by 7 only once and gain coins excess damage dead. So Syndicate has a thing called currency called coins. You gain coins by playing cards, and you use those cards to do something, right? So and Jackpot is like gain 9 coins, and you just say if you have 7 coins and you use this leader ability, probably with Bincy, there's a card with more coins you gain, more boosted gains. So this goes with that. So one of the best leader ability in Syndicate is Line Pockets. I really like this. So second one would be also Wild Card is really strong. Hunger Shade is not that bad. I mean, in leader Syndicate, all of the leaders are really good. I mean, there's no single leader ability that's bad. So that's all the abilities and things like that. So we can go to the cards now. I'm just going through individual cards, like all of them, and sharing my thoughts about it, by the way, if you want to listen. I already discussed, and this one is a little bit, it's a price right for the ability. You can get it's a provision cost and get value from it. I think that's okay. And how was Blue Dream? I think this one is a little bit more expensive. I think the initial cost of 10 or like even 12 is better than this. And yeah, I think that's too expensive. Shoop, Shoop is a harsh condition. It's a totally RNG kind of thing. I don't think Shoop decks are worth it. Shoop can only fit in like in Kalanthi, I mean like the pincer maneuver ability. I don't think it's that good. Shoop is like get a tier 2 or something like that. I would say it's not even tier 1. So I don't think a deck building a deck with Shoop is that worth it. Can't really win games. But that's just my opinion though. A lot of people will argue with that. Portal is a nice card. It was getting played a lot in every deck almost. They nerfed it by increasing one provision. I think, as I said before, I don't know, for some reason, whenever a card or something that's getting seen played a lot, they just nerf that card, change that ability, or increase the provision. That's how they deal with cards that didn't get played a lot. I don't think that's a good way to deal with it. Instead of doing that, you can just keep it and do something about it. I mean, that's totally like a little bit unfun though, right? You want to have fun, right? This is too expensive. This card is way too expensive. Nobody plays it. You can just banish him and that's it. And you're forced to play around too if you have him. So this card is really bad, I think. It's not really good. Only value you can get in monster with the mage that they have, and it's not really that good. I think to be make this card valid, they needs to reduce its provision from like 13 to something else. This is really good. It goes good with Skellige deck. And Ragnarok is not that good. This card is it's not really good. Weather used to be a really good thing in open beta. There were cards like if you have a weather effect, like a something, then there was used to be card that does something when there is a weather effect on available on deck. Muzzle doesn't have tag anymore. It used to be a tactic and used to play getting played in a Nilfgaard, but I think it should get a spell called get a tag of like getting a spell or something. They should put a tag. They forgot to put a tag on it. Dragon's Dream, I mean it's okay. I think it's pretty good. If you it's kind of hit or miss. Hit or miss with this card. You want to long round and play it maybe in the first round. Ale of Ancestors is okay, I think, as long you can have 8 player round in a game, you get his value. Living Armor is a card that's got released in this expansion, and it's an armor archetype. So you want to gain more armor and get more value out of it. Sienna, she is really too small of a body to get played. You can see use this ability on like deploy, like a glaze and things like that. But it's not that worth it because she's 12 provision with 3 cost, and you may not have a good deployability. I mean, like it's just a meme card. I think they should increase the point she has because maybe 6 or something. I mean, it's a hit or miss if you can do it or not. So yeah, I think they should increase its point value of this. This card is an RNG. You can create a gold from any faction. Goes good with assimilated and Nilfgaard. This card is also kind of meme. It's a kind of tutor plus for 11. I think they should decrease the provision cost for a little bit. I mean, for 11 it has 4-point body plus what? Plus you get something which is not really that cool. And also if you summon something that's deploy effect, you miss that deploy effect. And it gives both players, right? So it only finds value in mill, both players. If it was like only your card, then it would have been good, but it's both players. So yeah, this card is really good. You want to line up all the cards in their opposite row and you can easily get 20 points because a lot of people are playing a lot of boost, so it can line up and you can play it. That's a really good card. Triss is also pretty good, not bad. You get a lot of value from her. The Geralt card and the Triss cards are not so bad. This Yennefer is quite okay, it's not that bad. It's really conditional though. Again, it's an RNG card. It gets a special card from any faction. It can be a gold, it can be a bronze. You never know what you have. I think today I'm just going to discuss most of the neutral cards today, and we'll continue about other faction cards. Today I'm just going to discuss the neutral cards and my thoughts about it. This is also conditional. You just have this. If it's a power of 3, multiply of 3, you can do it, then you get the value. I think it's not that bad. Geralt Professional is pretty good. This is RNG. It's may get value, instant value, or hit or miss. This card is also good. Say if all the units are boosted, you just play this and you get a lot of value. But I think for this card should be 1 less power or something for provision. For like I think it should be a provision of 10 or something, because if all the cards line up, Igni is just a better card than Geralt Yerden. I mean, that's just a better card. And it's just a tutor for artifact. Artifacts, when this game started, it was really good, but now artifacts are pretty much dead. As you see in the artifacts I shown earlier, there's not really good artifacts that exist in the game, and they have been nerfed to ground, so there's not any good artifacts. Only artifacts that are good is like what? Let me show you. Yeah, this card is good. It does 2 damage third, so you can play Skellige and do damage and gain points from it. So but that's there to it. I mean, Skellige is only the faction that gets boosted when you damage your opponent's unit, so it's only find good value in Skellige. Anything this kind of artifact cards, they find good value in Skellige. Even then they have like only 3 cards that does that. This card used to be like your opponent, I think, but now it's only your all. It used to say get played a lot at the start of the homecoming, but nobody plays this card. It's just a garbage right now. I think they should rework this card a little bit and make it more viable. This card is also not good. It's just one for thing. She should at least have like 3. Maybe now you can get value out of him. Destroy the portal and use this. It's just a meme card. And this is also a meme card. You can may or may not, opponent may or may not have an artifact, so you're not getting much value out of her. The most you can get like what, if you can get a portal, that's good value, but most of the time a lot of players NR plays portal. They also play this card, which is called yeah, they also play this engage sword. It's not really that good, only good for them. They try to make a copy of their Roach, Vernon Roach that they play. Decent card. This card is good. It destroyed the highest unit. It's like a Scorch, but like just for only 1 without a body. This card damages a unit by 8. Nobody really plays this. If it was like damage a unit by 8 by pinging them, then it would be fine, finding some value in some Skellige decks, but it doesn't. So it's just nobody plays this card. I never really seen anyone playing this card, and it's a 9 provision too. I mean, you're not getting points out of your provision, right? So nobody really plays this card. This card gets played a lot. It's a good card. So basically what it does, it's for each card you have in your hand, the more damage it does. So you have 9 cards in your hand, it will do 9 damage. So you want to play this card early on to remove a big unit or booster unit. Finds a good value in control. This is another control card. It's a good card. If you have an armor, it does 4 damage, or if you have an armor, it gets 6 damage instead. So armor soaks up the damage. So it's like 4 for 4. I mean, like 10 for 8. That's it. And this card is pretty good. All the Geralt cards are pretty good, I think. So yeah, it gets a value out of 10 for sure, because it's 3 plus 9, 12. And for 10, this card is okay. It's not bad. 3 damage, but they should change this to being a ranged row. Instead of, they should just make it like opposite row, you know. I mean, like if it's in melee, you can change it to the ranged. If it's ranged, then change it to melee. That would be much better. I think Roach for 3, it's pretty expensive right now. I mean, there are better tutors that you can get. For example, this card, right? It's just a better Roach, and it comes at randomly, but it always comes. So you just I think it's a less provision 2, comes with an armor, and it's a 3, right? So it's the same value you get, and 1 less provision. So I think that card is a better Roach. This card, it's totally conditional these days. You don't really get a card which is a power of 1. I don't think this card is really good. Used to be getting seen a lot by most of the decks, but now it's just a 4. It's just a 5 at the most. Unicorn, and at the beginning of this homecoming, they used to be seen a lot. Now you don't see them anymore. For example, I mean, like, you're doing what? You're paying 18 points, and you're getting like 4 and a 4, that's 8. 8 and a 3, that's 11. 11 and a 6, 17, right? So you're getting 17 points. So you're not getting value out of using these 2 combos. It's a neutral duo, but you don't get value. You don't make that provision out of, like, the provision that you paid. You don't make that many points. So let's do the math again. 4 and 4, that's 8. 8, 3 and 6, that's like 11 plus 6, 17. You get 17. You cannot get 18 that you paid for. This card is garbage. Most of the Triss cards are like stupid. They're not really good. I don't know, they should make the Triss is one of the main characters in Witcher universe, Witcher game, and they can make this card is like really stupid, random, right? So if you hit a 5, then it's getting an 8, right? uh, you can, I mean, like, you have to tutor your deck so much when using this card. You don't get much value. Even if you get that value, you don't find a good enough target for it. So this card is not really any good. This card is much better. Yennefer is a much better card than Triss. Basically, you want to thin your deck and leave like a really big unit on your board, which is found in Nilfgaard thin deck, and it's pretty good. So this card finds a very good value on it. This is right price. It's a nice tutor. You can get a tutor. Its price is just right. This for the same for this. This card is like it's okay. It's get power to 6, but it's not a Witcher, then it's damaged by 6. So it's a really conditional card, not really that good. Surrender is a new card that has been released in this like couple of weeks ago, I believe, in this Iron Judgment expansion. It's a improved Last Rite. It's a much better card than Last Rite. This artifact is controversial. If it's a shield, then it destroys card. It may or may not may get the value or may not. It really depends. I never really seen this card getting played. Yeah, it's just a meme card. Yeah, this card nobody plays it anymore because nobody plays an artifact. This is really cool. You play a lot of bandits and you can make a bandit decks around it, and you can play this card as a finisher. I mean, it gets a really good value. As long as it has 2 bandits on your board, it gets a good value out of it. Meets its provision cost, and anything extra, you get extra points. And this is good too. It gets value right away for 8, so which is good. Gimpy, yeah, Gimpy also gets his value. I think it used to be damage all copies by 3. Now it changed by 1. I think it's good, pretty good against dwarf. They play a lot of rowdy dwarfs, so you can use this to make a good value out of it. It's not bad. This meets his provision, I think. But there is a better card that has been released and reworked at 9 provision, which is called Lambert. Really nice sword master. So all copies by 2. That's pretty good. This is also conditional. It half is 3, then is banish. Not bad. It gets 8 out of 9 plus the banish kind of thing, so they cannot resurrect it again. City Dash is just total stupid, I believe. I think it's just really a bad card right now. Maybe you can play a defender, then play her. Yeah, I think after 5 allied turns, that's a long time. I mean, yeah, that's a really long time. It's used in mill decks. It's not bad. It's a 5 unit. This card is conditional. It used to be having charge. Now it's just an enemy unit with a cooldown 2. And if you play a Witcher, then it reduces by cooldown 1. So it's an okay card, not so bad. As do you get like 2 pings out of him, it's pretty good. It's just like Scorch but for the lowest units, so it's also good. This card is not that good. It really synergizes with only Skellige Storm. I think the Skellige Storm should be like a Skellige card. It doesn't really, you don't really say this card getting played. It doesn't get much value. I don't think it gets much value. This card is okay if it's weather and artifacts becomes meta again. It's okay card. Locks are just useless right now. It's not that good. It's a neutral lock that you can play in any kind of faction and deck. Move 3 adjacent units to other row. It used to be move all units, now it's only 3. It got nerfed a lot. For 8 you get 4. I think it should be 5. This card is just a cheaper version of Geralt. If you gain a dragon, then it gains a Geo. That's okay. Then there is A Rush. Resilience is a status that in game that you keep in a remain on the board at the round end. If it's boosted or and it restores to his base power. But if it gets damaged, it doesn't stay at his base power, it stays at that damage value. Also, so I'm finding good value these days. It's finding like 9 points because a lot of people are playing dwarves. You just wanna use this and kill 3 dwarves. It's pretty good. Last ride is also good. You easily can get a lot of value because these days you play people playing defender. So row stack damage or row stack reset cards are very valuable right now. This card is also good as long you have like 7 units on your board or more. But you can have like in 2 rows you can have I think 9 in a row. Yeah, 9 and a 9. So you get a good value out of it. This card has been nerfed to ground. It gains only 4 charges. It should have 7 charge instead. For 7, no harm done, right? It should get like 7 for 7 and get done with it. And that would have been good. Same for this card. It should get like 7 pings instead of just 4 pings. This card is just meme. It's a never good card. Destroy all artifacts. It's just stupid. This card is really stupid. Nobody plays this card. This card used to be really good. Now it's just utter garbage. Nobody will really play this card because it's 6 for something. Because it's an RNG and also you're not sure how much value you will get out of it. because you're playing 6 provision, right? It's just a worse runestone in this scenario. This card is a tutor. It's a random gold card. It's not that bad, but you're giving your opponent 2 points, which is maybe good or maybe not. It depends. It's really RNG. It's only synergized with spy if you have spying things, which is a really small archetype in Nilfgaard. And this card has a low body again. If you play a special card, boost a random allied unit by 2. Maybe it will be good. It's maybe good, maybe not good. It really depends. Same thing with this card. Totally like RNG. And this card is like, yeah, it's not that good. Maybe it can find value with the defender these days. Yeah, maybe it can find value. This is just 6 for a 6 bear. So if you're looking for a fair price card, you can just play this. That's good. And this is also fairly priced. If you have same category in the main category, you can get it boost. Yeah, that is also fair priced. 5 for 6. This one is like boost a unit and remove its lock. They should do something like boost an allied unit by 5 and purify it. They should do like, instead of remove its lock, they should just purify, because so many things that they give, like bleed and etc. They should change rework this card and make it like remove the status. Golden Fort is not good. I think they should make like the old open beta kind of thing. Apply a effect to your row and boost it for like 4 turns. That would be good. And I don't mind getting it changed to like 7 provisions, just like these cards, but for instead of damaging, you just boost your own side. That would be cool. This card is okay, it's not bad, but I haven't seen really this card getting played. This card is good. You wanna remove all those status and purify and then damage, which is kinda good. This is also a good card. This is not really a good card. Why you wanna destroy like 2 of your good cards, then play another card? Can work, but yeah, it's not really that good. This card needs a tag. Tremors is it's an okay card. It's not really that good. It's an okay. You can as long the enemy has 6 units, you can get 6 out of 6. You'll not really see this card getting played. Maybe only in Skellige. This is also 6 for 6. It's an okay card. It's a new card that has been added. It's a special. Doesn't have any tag on it. By tag I mean it's has a spell, so it doesn't have a spell on it. This is just a lock and reset. Can be handy. For a 5 it's not that bad. For 5 only gold epic card that you have in the game is this, I think. Yeah. And that's 5 for 5 is good. This is 5 for 6, which is better. And this card is like I think it's not that good. I mean, what are you gonna do? Remove a unit's armor, that's it. This card is good. You can remove that defender and whatnot. This is like neutral purifying, which is very useful in current meta right now. Nobody really plays any artifact, so it's not really good. This card is pretty good with armor decks. This is also priced right, but it doesn't get, should be like at least a 4 point because it's 5, right? I mean, what are you gaining by armor? Is not points, it's just armor. It doesn't give you more points, so I don't know about it. This is like your hand correction, but I think it should be 5 for 5 because it's not really that good, right? It should be a 5 for 5 with the Rattle ability. Nobody really plays any weather right now, so I don't know, this card is not really good. And Bronze Deathwish only finds in good value in for a neutral card and alchemy. It's only find value in like a Deathwish deck, which is in monsters, so it's rather be a monster card and doesn't have any. You see, alchemy doesn't have any synergy with something. I mean, like there used to be cards that you play alchemy, does something. Now alchemy doesn't have much value in it. The problem with a lot of the cards that we have is we don't have synergy with so many cards in the game, even with neutral. This card is bad. There's so many better cards, so this card is also bad. And this card is yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, it's bad because if it has armor, right? You're getting 4 excuse me, 4 value anyways. They're better cards. So that's pretty much about the neutral cards, and later I'm just going to discuss with starting from monsters, then Northern Realms, Squattle, Skellige, and Nilfgaard, and Syndicate. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you next time.